Hello and welcome to a City Skylines stream. Today we are continuing a build of Hamilton, Montana. A vanilla build based off the city. Rather loosely based off the city, if I may. We'll pull up Hamilton, Montana on the map. And there it is. Little town. About half an hour south of Missoula, Montana. It's a rather cozy, sleepy little town with rather high property values in real life, if I may. So where are we at? We've been working on doing some districts. The south side here set to a European suburbia district style, which will work reasonably well to give us those little quaint neighborhood houses instead of the apartment block look. I really don't want the town to look like it's filled with apartment buildings, because that's not true to a small American town. Then we have the disaster response building here, and we have a trade school and the bank. In real life, we'd have a level 4 research laboratory here. Rocky Mountain Labs is there in Hamilton, Montana, in real life, so we're kind of putting administrative buildings and college buildings there to create that vibe. Then as we go out over here into the other side of the map, we have an industrial zone, which is a little bit of creative liberty, though all of these streets are actually a little bit stylized after the street map of Hamilton. We did take a little bit of artistic liberty, just because it's a vanilla map. It's not a height map that's completely identical to real-world Hamilton. Last time I started working on a city park here. Sort of a nature reserve park. Maybe we'll speed it up. I do have some modded builds, but this one is completely vanilla with Steam achievements turned on, which is cool. So we're 100% responsible for running a city correctly, the way the devs intended for a city to be ran. This little downtown district is set to green style of buildings, which is kind of good for a small town. In my experience, it's about the best you can get, because it'll make small buildings with parking lots spawn in, instead of those weird buildings that are default to vanilla Skylines. I'm expanding my residential zone here just a little at a time, because I don't want to totally decimate the population by making everybody move out all at the same time. You do have some abandoned buildings here. I wonder why. Nobody collected the dead people. Okay, well that's a good reason. Let's see what we can do about that. I think I addressed this last time I was playing, because what had happened was our cemeteries got full, and I didn't notice that one was set to empty, and there wasn't anywhere for the dead people to go for a little bit, so we got in trouble. So here we have a cemetery, but we don't have any connections to the rest of the town, so we're gonna Do some power lines there. That'll help us. Hopefully the dead people will be collected soon. We're running a bit of a deficit here. Probably because I did those zoning changes and people moved out. That's what happened. We got the annoying radio station, in-game radio station. Let's switch over to something else. What if we go to the relaxation station? That sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? A little bit peculiar sounding. Right now we've got almost no demand at all for any zone. It would probably help if we invested in some parks or something that would create improved land value. Let's build a tennis court over here. That might be kind of cool. Now, I don't think that just plopping trees will in and of itself do us any favors. In some games, if you plant trees, that actually is a boon to desirability. But I don't believe that that's the case with city skylines. I think trees themselves are just kind of, you put them there, that's fine. But they're not really gonna do anything for you other than make the city look the way you want. Which is fine. One thing I've discovered that really helps with realism is just plopping a lot of trees. And especially in a vanilla build, you have only so many resources to use at your disposal. You can't just go into the workshop and download every single thing you see, so putting some trees there just kind of, it really fills out the city and makes it feel alive. I've always thought that's amazing. When you go do a hike or something, climb up above your city and look at it, and you'll realize what really makes a city look like a city is that in many towns you have wide open spaces where there maybe aren't that many trees, but then when you look around town you just see a sea of trees. Because usually when towns were created, they planted deciduous trees in the avenues and things, and then as the city matured, those trees continued to grow. So you have a lot of big trees in cities. And maybe you wouldn't think that's the case, that cities would be a haven for trees, but in many cases they are. I have to be a little bit careful how many trees I plant because there is a limit to how many trees you can have in the game. And I don't want to hit that limit. Though if I do, that's okay because I can just delete some trees from around the edges and that'll kind of make up for it. You know, I could be diversifying my tree types a little bit more, but I kind of like those trees. They fill up the space nicely. So. Once you get your initial economy going, it's not very hard to turn a profit in City Skylines, so I'm not super worried about money. Now we have gotten City Park to level 2s. That's cool. So we can do a tent camping site. Viewing deck? Okay. Yeah, let's go check it out. So I'm assuming the viewing deck would be over water. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it right there. And we'll do another camping site here. Bigger camping site, because that'd be a nice place for that to be. I kind of want this this path to be a little closer. I wonder if I can. Maybe I'll do a curved path that just kind of goes up there. No, I don't know. I guess that's all right. I kind of wanted that dirt path to just go a little bit further, so it's closer to where the viewing deck is. Maybe I'll just bring the viewing deck closer to the path. Oh, now it's too high up though. Well, you know. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We'll put the viewing deck down there. Then we'll extend the path a little bit. That looks a little more organic that way. Yeah, I like that. Definitely looks a little more legit. Slow down the game a little. Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? You go down the path. You've got your little campsite over there. You got your nice little viewing deck here, so you can go look out over the water. Yeah, that's a nice little spot we got there. All the little tents. It's pretty cool. All right, so what do we got going on in town? We got a lot of abandoned buildings. Still, are all of them abandoned because we have a death problem? Yeah, it's the dead people, man. It ain't good. And I don't blame them. You know, when you smell corpses rotting everywhere, you're gonna kind of want to move out after a while. Totally get it. So what are we gonna do? We gotta go. Let's find. Where's the dead people? We have. We don't have crematoriums because we need 17,000 people before we can get a crematorium. So that means we're going to need to invest in some more cemeteries. That's what we got to do. So we're going to make that little spot there, cemetery row. Just a lot of those cemeteries are going to be there. Looks like we have a couple cemeteries that finished emptying. I don't think that's how cemeteries are supposed to work. Like, you get full and then you just empty them and then you start over with another fresh fill. Well, I don't think that's good. See, that's what's happening. Our cemeteries are getting full, and then we don't notice that they're full, or we set them to empty and then we forget to stop the emptying process. Now, when we get access to crematoriums, then we can just burn the bodies and life will be just fine, but we are not there yet. So for the time being, we're going to have to just, you know, try to make the best of the situation, right? It's a bit macabre, but I can respect it. Maybe as you get older, jokes about dead people become a little bit more of a sore subject. Very possible. Of course, it's also possible that you just kind of start to get more comfortable with it too, because, you know, it is what it is, right? Sometimes it's easier to cope with things if you view them through the lens of humor instead of being a super negative, uptight person. Because ultimately, in the end, whether you are uptight or not, life will go on, and your life will come to an end. So, might as well have a good time and make a few jokes. Even if they're jokes at your expense, that's alright too. Alright, more trees by the train tracks. I'll plant a few more. These happy little trees here. I think we should start a farming industry. Because I've never really made the most of all of the supply chain management in Cities Skylines. Because most of my builds have always been modded. So I just never really put much thought into it. We're going to make the most out of these radio stations too, because the devs put time and effort into making these radio stations, and I put the money into buying them, so might as well enjoy them while I am playing this game. I do think they contribute nicely to the vibe of the game. We'll plant a few cherry trees there to just add a little bit of color in there. I imagine that we're doing one of those Bob Ross painting shows. We'll keep traffic flowing well on the avenue by not having too many intersections. And we'll sprinkle just a few evergreen trees through here to add a little bit of diversity. It's also fun to put trees right in between the buildings because the game allows you to do that. And it just makes a nice little division line there. I really feel like it's fun to mod a game like Skylines, but it's also fun to just use the tools that they give you to work with, which really are pretty extensive, and then just be creative within the boundary of those parameters to say, okay, well, you know, what can we do with the game without going to the workshop, without doing anything extra, just to have some fun with it and make a really nice kind of a beauty build without mods. There we have it, a lot more trees than we had before. We'll finish expanding our suburban style into that neighborhood over there. Those buildings will depopulate and be replaced soon. And I think we're going to just be a little impatient and start demolishing abandoned buildings. They'll come back, and not having abandoned buildings will probably be good for our land value. So now we're looking pretty good. Not too bad.
Hi, I'm Greg, owner and founder of Steel Frame Spots. Due to unusually short fingers, which are a characteristic of my family line, I was unable to play spots at the elite level I would have liked to. Instead, I invested my energy into getting you the lowest prices possible on athletic gear. Unlike the local sports teams, you can count on us every year. I fight every day to get you the best deals. I'll never drop the ball on prices, and that's because low prices and my customers' happiness are not affected by the short fingers mentioned earlier in the advertisement. Just remember, when the game's on the line, who do you count on? Steel Frame Spots. That's who. Check out our ad in the Weekly Nickel.
At Akio, we've been making the best in mobile phones for over 20 years. How did we get there? By putting ringtones in every commercial that make you think your phone is ringing. Whether you have a new phone, an old phone, or just leave it on vibrate, we make sure you always hear your phone in our commercials. It's our way of saying, we hear you. So don't be silenced when opportunity calls, pick it up. It's for you. Akio Mobile.
This is the relaxation station. Coming up is a little track I heard in Ibiza, or as the locals pronounce it, Ibiza. I've never been there, but there's a live feed from the beach that you can check out online 24/7.
we're just gonna plant some parks to see if we can improve property values. We put a riding stable out here. That'd be cool. Yeah, I like that. Now let's see how our school's doing. $316 of 500. Campus attractiveness is not that high. We'll build a groundskeeping office and a book club. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, who wouldn't want a book club? The other thing we would conceivably want would be a dormitory. Won't quite fit in there, so I guess we'll put a dormitory right here. Yeah, that looks alright. It's pretty reasonable. And we could put another little open area, park or something there. A funny little joint there. I don't want that. There we go. Now what we can do is we can connect the college campus paths directly to the nature reserve path. Now our campus attractiveness is much better. We should probably build a bus terminal at some point. Thinking about putting a farming area in here. This area could be kind of a farming zone, maybe. So looking at fertility, what I actually need to do is put my farms over here. So that's where the fertile land is. So to start this, we need a main building for the farm. I've done this before, but I'm not super familiar with how it works, so I'm gonna just kind of play it by ear, I guess. We'll put the farming main building right there. Well, now we have access to a small grain silo, a small animal pasture, crop field, fruit field. Okay. So we'll do a silo here. And we'll start off simple with a small crop field. Oh, so it's not in an industry area. I thought that's what I... Oh, okay. So somehow I did not do this right. I don't want to erase the airport zone. I guess we don't need the general zone. We needed a industrial zone. So I think we got that the way we need to now. Let's get some power. And some water. And there is our little farmhouse. Got a little guy out there, lady, I'm not sure. Somebody out there with a western hat and a rake, looks like. Alright, now we can build our field. Maybe we should do a dirt road or something. We'll do a couple crop fields, and we'll do one field of trees, fruit trees. And this has pretty easy access to the freeway, so it shouldn't create traffic problems in town. I wanted the airport to look a little less barren. So I put some random shrubbery. But I also don't want super tall trees because that's not really compatible with airplanes. And the more I look at this, the more I think what I ought to do is destroy that road and create a underpass. Because you really don't want roads to be in such close proximity to a runway. That's a little bit more, a little more reasonable. If I wanted to be really creative, I might be able to make the runway go all the way across the road, but I don't necessarily see a need for that. That airplane really, really cheated. Just drove right up there and just drove off the edge of the runway. We're going to want to start producing flour. Eventually. We got to have a level 2 farming area before we can do that. We can also do a forest industry. Definitely like the idea of that. Maybe we'll do our forestry area here, because we have a lot of trees right there. We could do it here too. I want to keep the industry areas close to the freeway and away from the main part of town, since this is a build that is trying to be realistic and based off of a real town. So what we'll do is make a little road that kind of goes out like that. That is going to be our access road for forestry main building, which we're going to put right here. And then we'll go back to our
salmon days down at Fish
districts.
Brothers. For a limited time, bring in any fish and get a chilled salmon entree free. You heard right. Bring in any fish and get a free chilled salmon entree. And I mean any fish. Got a swordfish lying around? Bring it in. Got a goldfish you're sick of feeding? Bring it in. Got a fish that's been sitting in the sun for a few days? Bring it in. We'll throw it in with the rest of them. What we do with the fish is nobody's business but ours. Just enjoy your salmon $8.99 with our famous stew. So, welcome on into Fish Brothers Seafood Themed Restaurant, where everything's a great catch. Except the shrimp.
That was a funny
Welcome back to Paradise Radio.
fish restaurant advertisement.
Miles high. It's time for us to check the listener line. Here's a good one from a fellow named Henry. Thanks for all the great music, Miles. Just one question for you. I've got the heart of the lion and the eye of the tiger, but when I try to dance, I've got the feet of the penguin. Do you have any pointers for somebody like me? Ouch, Henry, that's a tough one. But you might just be getting in your own way. The truth is, penguins are born dancers. Haven't you ever watched the movies? Sure, they might look a little awkward, but that just makes it fun. If you believe in what you're doing, then you're bound to do it with style. Just remember to stay away from the karaoke machine. That's where people start drawing the line. Now let's see if we can get those penguin feet tapping. Here's another favorite.
So here we have a sawmill, forestry building, and we have a logging, a tree plantation. pretty cool. And we're just going to call this the Hamilton Agricultural Corridor. Sounds good. And we're going to call that the Montana Lumber Company. Should probably go back over into town and see what's going on here. We got a high rise. That's interesting. Wasn't really going for high rises, but you know what? We'll let it be there. It's fine. We have more demand for residential. Let's take a look at our hotel over here. It's losing a little bit of money. I wonder what we can do to improve our hotel. If we had more office buildings around, that would help. Maybe a bus route. A bus route could be our next agenda. Though I do probably need to rein in my expenses because I have only $82,000 left right now. We'll put a little bit more residential in here just to fill out this area. learning our lesson from last time, we don't want to forget to check our cemeteries. Looks like there's some garbage over there building up. Let's check our garbage. Oh yeah, garbage processing status is a little bit in the yellow, so time to fire up another incinerator. We put our incinerators over here by the airport, so people land at the airport and the first thing they see is these trash burning incinerators. Maybe one day we'll be able to run a little bit cleaner, but for now, it is what it is.
Life in the city, lit up at night by the shining Michelin stars. I can see it all. I can taste it now. Can you taste it with me? Welcome to paradise with Miles High.
We have different things we can invest in. Kind of cool. Well, we've definitely improved our land values. We got started with some industry, and we improved the overall beautification of the town. Finished converting the neighborhoods to more of a low-density suburban style. Got our first high-rise. Probably continue to fill in the gaps and add more trees and stuff like that. It's just a fun little build. I think despite the fact that this is replicating a small town in real life, we will have some fun with it and start to expand and make it feel a little bit more like a big city as we go. So next time we'll probably invest in a bus route and do some other fun stuff like that. Maybe some investments. Maybe a higher density downtown area. That could be cool. I think what would be fun is to see low density areas. Like we'll keep these low rise houses, but then we'll also focus on just having a nice packed cluster with some tall buildings right down there in the downtown area, and really make downtown pop, stand out, so it looks like a kind of a big city. That's always what I like about going into a big city. You kind of see the downtown cluster of tall buildings pop up, contrasting the smaller buildings around. And then whenever I get bored with this and decide I'm done, I will switch back to my other builds, and this city will eventually go into the Steam Workshop. So if anybody wants to have a Hamilton, Montana themed build, they will be able to download it and have fun. There's something cool about seeing your hometown show up in a game or on the workshop or something, or a town that you've spent time in. Especially if it's a little town where people don't normally go, so there's a certain novelty to finding that it's represented in a game or something like that. We're back over $100,000. Life seems to be going well here in Hamilton, Montana. Till next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye.